Well, this is Saurav Yadav, and this is my photo which is attached here, and my enrollment number is 04216403 218. Switching theory and logic design, and topic of my PPT is changing the counter modulus. Okay, let's begin from here. Changing the counter modulus. I have covered all this PPT in these following components. These are counter modulus, a mode 3 counter, a mode 6 counter, the 54 upon 7 for 92A, and reference in the last, which where I have mentioned the source from where I get this all of the matter. Counter modulus. First of all, we will understand what the counter modulus is. The modulus is the number of states the counter counts and dividing number of the counter. In digital logic and computing, a counter is the device which stores the number of times a particular event or process has occurred, often in relationship to a clock. In this way, we can say that counter modulus are based on the number of states that the counter will sequence through before returning back to its original value. As we know that asynchronous, that is ripple counters, and two different types of synchronous, that is parallel counters, all of which have ability to operate in either a count up or count down mode. All of these counters progress one count at a time in a strict binary progression, and they all have a modulus given by 2 to the power n, where n indicates the number of flip-flops. Such counters are said to have a natural count of 2 to the power n. A mode 2 counter consists of a single flip-flop. A mode 4 counter requires 2 flip-flops, and it counts through 4 discrete states. 3 flip-flops form a mode 8 counter, while 4 flip-flops form a mode 16 counter. Thus, we can construct counters that have a natural count of 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on by using the proper number of flip-flops. It is often desirable to construct a counter having a modulus other than 2, 4, 8, and so on. For example, a counter having a modulus of 3 or 4 would be useful. A small modulus counter can always be constructed from a larger modulus counter by skipping states. Such counters are said to have modified count. It is first necessary to determine the number of flip-flops required. The correct number of flip-flops is determined choosing the lowest natural count that is greater than the desired modified count. For example, a mode 7 counter requires 3 flip-flops, and since 8 is the natural count greater than desired modified count of 7. And here it is the diagram of LS191 binary counters, and I will explain it. Here we can see the 4 sequences. Number 1, the load to binary 13. Number 2, count up to 14, 15, 0, 1 and 2. Number 3, inhibit. And number 4, count down to 1, 0, 15, 14 and 13. A single flip-flop has a natural count of 2. Thus we could use a single flip-flop to construct a mode 2 counter, and that's all. However, a 2 flip-flop counter has a natural count of 4. Skipping one count will lead to a mode 3 counter. So 2 flip-flops can be used to construct either a mode 4 or mode 3 counter. Similarly, a 3 flip-flop counter has a natural count of 8, but by skipping counts we can use 3 flip-flops to construct a counter having a modulus of 8, 7, 6 or 5. The counters Having a modulus of 4 or 3 could also be constructed, but these two counters can be constructed by using only two flip flops. Okay, let's go ahead. A mode 3 counter. There are a great many different methods for constructing a counter having a modify count. A counter can be synchronous, asynchronous, or a combination of these two types. Furthermore, there is a decision of which count to skip. For instance, if a mode 6 counter using 3 flip flops is to be constructed, which two of them 8 discrete states should be skipped. Our purpose here is not to consider all possible counter configurations and how to design them. Rather, we devote our efforts to one or two designs widely used in TTL MSI. A mode 3 counter is considered in this section and mode 5 in the next section, and then we consider the use of presentable counters to achieve any desired modulus. The two flip flops shown in next slide, which I'm going to show you a little bit later, have been connected to provide a mode 3 counter. Since two flip flops have a natural count of 4, this counter skips one state. The waveforms and the truth table show that this counter progress through the count sequence 0 0 0 1 1 0 and then back to 0 0. It clearly skips count 11, that is count 1 1. And here we can see the logic diagram, waveforms, truth table and logic block of it. And here I am going to define its working. 2 point A on the timeline where A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 0, a negative clock transition at A will cause two things. First, A to toggle to a 1 since its J and K inputs are high, and second, B to rest to 0 since its J input is low and its K input is high. And second thing, at point B on the same timeline where A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 0, a negative block transition at B will also cause two things. First, A to toggle to 0 since its J and K inputs are high, and second, B to toggle to 1 since its J and K inputs are high. And the third thing, at point C on the timeline where A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1, a negative clock transition at C will also cause two things. First, A to reset to 0 since its J input is low and its K input is high, and second, B to reset to 0 since its J input is low and its K input is high. And now the counter has progressed through all three of its states, advancing one count with each negative clock transition. In this way, two flip flops mode 3 counter can be considered as a logic building block as shown in D part of the diagram. It has a clock input and output at A and B. It can be considered as a divide by 3 block. Why we can consider as a divide by 3 block? Because the output waveforms at B or at A has a period equal to 3 times that of the clock. In other words, this counter divides the clock frequency by 3. Notice that this is a synchronous counter since both flip-flops change state in synchronism with the clock. Now we go ahead. This is a mode 6 counter. If we consider a basic flip-flop to be a mode 2 counter, we see that a mode 4 counter is simply two mode 2 counters in series. Similarly, a moded counter is simply a 2 into 2 into 2 connections, and so on. Thus, a great number of higher modulus counters can be formed by using the product of any number of lower modulus counters. For instance, suppose that we connect a flip flop um, um, at the B output of the mod 3 counter in the figure in this slide here. The result is 3 into 6 mod 6 counter as shown in this figure. The output of the single flip flop is labeled C. Notice that it is a symmetrical waveform and it also has a frequency of 1/6 that of the input clock. This can no longer be considered a synchronous counter since flip flop C is triggered by flip flop B. That is, the flip flops don't all change status in synchronism with the clock. Okay, now we proceed to the 54 upon 7 for 92A. Uh, its figure, its figure, which I am going to show a little bit later, is a TTL divided by 12 and MSI counter. A careful examination of the logic diagram will reveal that flip-flops QB, QC and QD are exactly the same as the 3 into 2 counter in the last figure which we have seen. Thus, if the clock is applied to input B of the 92A and the outputs are taken at QB, QC and QD, this is a mod 6 counter. Then this is a mod 6 counter. While on the other hand, if the clock is applied at input A and QA is connected to input B, we have a 2 into 3 into 2 mod 12 counter. The proper truth table for the mod 12 configuration is shown in figure B. Again, this must be considered as a synchronous counter since all flip-flops don't change states at the same time. Thus, there is the possibility of glitches occurring at the outputs of any decoding gates used with the counter. Okay, these are the few things which I have covered through this PPT. And along with class notes and lecture, I have took some help from books. These are Digital Principles and Applications and Modern Digital Electricals. Okay, that's all from my side. Thanks.